What would you do if your body had been trying to tell you something was wrong for 2 whole years, and every single day you told it to be quiet? This is Ryan's story, and how he thought silence meant strength, until the truth came crashing in and nearly killed him.
So Ryan is 48 years old when this story starts. He'd been driving lorries for 22 years, up at 4:30 every morning, living on coffee and service station sandwiches. Tiredness was just part of the job. He'd stopped noticing it years ago. Then the thirst started. Not ordinary thirst, but the kind that stayed in his mouth no matter how much he drank. 4 large bottles of water in one shift. Ryan blamed the cab heating. What else could it be? Karen noticed before Ryan did. At 2 in the morning, she lay awake listening as he got up for the 3rd time. She watched the bathroom light come on again. She didn't say anything. Then his eyesight started to get worse. Not completely, just enough to irritate him. He kept saying he'd book an optician, but he never did. Everyone's eyes get worse with age, he told himself. But Ryan was 48, not 88. He'd started falling asleep every afternoon, still in his work boots, sometimes halfway through a sandwich. Karen stood in the doorway with the laundry basket in her hands and looked at him. That was when she decided she was going to say something. That night, Karen didn't shout. She never did. She just looked at him and calmly listed everything she'd been watching for months. The thirst, the toilet trips, his failing eyesight, the sleeping. Then she said, "Ryan, go to the doctor." Ryan told her he was fine. Of course he did. He was 48 years old and hadn't taken a sick day in 22 years. Doctors were for people who were properly ill. He was just tired. Weren't we all? 3 weeks later, because Karen asked him every single morning, Ryan finally went to the doctor. He sat down and said he'd been a bit tired. Then the doctor asked one question. "Are you thirsty a lot?" And Ryan went quiet. The meter read 28.4. Normal is somewhere between 4 and 7. Ryan's was almost 4 times higher.
Ryan had been living with type 2 diabetes for 2 years without knowing it. 2 years. And the part that stays with me is this. He isn't unusual. I see this every single week. The signs are usually there. They're almost always there. There are 6 signs your body can use to beg for help. Thirst that doesn't let up. Toilet trips that become constant. Exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. Blurry vision. Cuts that seem to take forever to heal. And tingling in your hands or feet. Ryan had 4 of them. For 2 years.
Ryan never made it home that Tuesday. He collapsed in a lorry park at 20 past 5 in the morning. Another driver found him barely conscious. His blood sugar had reached 31. Karen's phone rang at 5:23 that morning. Unknown number. She answered it in the kitchen, still in her dressing gown. As she listened, one hand gripped the counter. Karen sat in the hospital waiting room for 3 hours, replaying the kitchen table conversation. The one where Ryan said he was fine. Later, she said it kept circling. "I knew, and I let him talk me out of it."
If anything in Ryan's story sounded familiar, the thirst, the tiredness, the blurred vision, don't wait for it to get worse. Call your GP today. Ask for an HbA1c blood test and a fasting glucose test. Write those names down if you need to. Say them clearly. Ask for them by name. Today, not next week. Below 6 is normal. 6 to 6.9 is prediabetes. That means your body is warning you, and you still have time to change the ending. 7 and above is diabetes. 2 years before Ryan collapsed, he was sitting at 6.8. He didn't know. I want to talk about Karen for a second, because a lot of us have someone like her. The person who notices before we do. The person who says something and we brush it off because we don't want to be what they're afraid of. If there is a Karen in your life, listen to them, please. And if you are the Karen, the one watching someone you love ignore every sign their body is giving them, hear me clearly. You are not nagging. You are paying attention when they can't. Keep going. Book the appointment for them if you have to. If someone near you becomes suddenly confused, has fruity smelling breath, starts breathing rapidly, is severely vomiting, or loses consciousness, call 999, not 111, not Google, and do not drive them yourself. This is a diabetic emergency. Ryan survived because someone didn't hesitate.
Ryan spent 6 days in intensive care. He came home on a Wednesday. By Saturday, he was walking to the park with Karen. He said it was the first walk he could remember where his legs didn't feel like concrete.
Ryan said something to me that I think about a lot. He said, "I kept waiting to feel properly ill. I didn't know this was what properly ill felt like." Please, don't wait to feel properly ill. Book the test. Listen to your Karen. Be a Ryan who listened earlier. Go.